How's it going, guys? My name's Kevin. Some of you may know me as K3VBOT. Today I am going to try and crack this puppy open. It is a now certified game from WATA Games. I'll be honest, this is a fake. I know it's a fake, and they know it's a fake too because they put counterfeit there on the top. I can show you that a little bit better when it's out of this plastic bag. But yeah, we're gonna try and crack this open without damaging the case, because I think these cases are quite a bit better than VGA. I have not personally opened a VGA case, but I know a couple people who have, and well, they were able to do it without actually breaking any of the acrylic, which is part of the reason why VGA is not, well, I don't consider it to be quite relevant. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. I've got just a handful of what I would consider general household items. This is just a tool I pulled out of the garage. It has a little flat edge on it. Thought maybe that would be helpful. I've also got one of these handy dandy blow dryers, which is obviously something special and nothing you could get over the counter at Walmart. And then just a handful of little screwdrivers here. Oop. As I throw them everywhere, got some little screwdrivers. Got a scalpel. Not that I really think that's going to be that beneficial, but I'm going to feel how rigid this case is. I can hear air escaping when I squeeze it a little bit. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Try and figure out where it's coming from. I know these, well, I think these cases are vented in some way. Yeah, it looks like they're vented in the back, based on where it looks like some kind of adhesive is on the bottom of this. Maybe it's vented. Oh wait, no. That's coming from the top. That's coming from right here. All right. I personally don't think coming from the top is going to be the answer for opening this. Reason being is there are clips on the front, the back, the sides, everywhere on this thing. Looks like 6 of them in total. And I don't want to break any of those. Why? Because then you'd be able to tell that I opened it. But yeah, this is a counterfeit. Reason I know it's a counterfeit is, 1, they told me, but 2, I made it. And I told them I was going to be sending something. I didn't tell them I was going to be sending a counterfeit. And they figured it out. Probably the label gave it away somewhat, but the PCB actually is really well done. It's done with period correct EPROMs with the correct ROM on them. I used old solder to solder them. Even changed around the not CPU. What was that? Not region lock. I changed around the one chip to coordinate with dates, the correct dates, and they were able to figure it out based on the board also, because I did not change every ounce of solder, and they could tell a difference in the solder job. They could tell that it was a newer solder job and not one that would have been done in the 80s or 90s. So anyway, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to start by warming up the bottom here, because I think that's going to be where most of my luck is made, is the bottom. So it's hot in here already before I turn on this hair dryer. So don't mind me if I sweat a little bit while doing this. And it's going to be a little bit noisy. So I'll try and turn down the volume a little bit when I'm doing this. So what I'm looking at here is you can see through the acrylic case where there's looks like little bubbles in the seal. I'm basically warming it, trying to see if I can see a change in those bubbles, and I haven't really seen anything yet, but I'm not ready to give up on this heat. So I really haven't, ooh, that's pretty warm. I really haven't seen a lot of changes as far as the bubbles here inside this. That ain't gonna do me a lot of good. Jeez. Some strong glue. Or whatever it is. Wonder if I could get something on that to separate that. Something with a little more ass behind it than me. I'm not going to pause this video though, because I don't want you guys thinking I went and did something different. I didn't. Promise. And you're going to be there to witness that. Let me see if I can get my little tool here down, because there is a little bit of a lip right there between, well, I can kind of show you here, between the case and this wall. You can kind of see where that scalpel slides down in there. There's a bit of a gap that's not glued. It looks like it goes pretty much all the way around. Put the cap on that because I will stab myself with it. Have a tendency of doing stuff like that. It's still pretty warm, not as warm as it was, but I don't even think me getting the scalpel down in there is going to help that. Wonder how flexible this is. So I'm going to just come down. I'm just going to kind of force this down this edge and see if this case cracks, because that is kind of a thick piece compared to that little gap. But I think I might be able to get it down in there. Now, one thing I have noticed is it is tighter to this little lower edge in the middle. There's a bigger gap around the corners, which it'll probably be easier to break around the corners, but with that smaller gap, it'll probably break pretty easy there too. But I'm gonna try. I don't want to pull from this because I don't want to break that. Getting a grip on it though, it's not that easy. Oh, sweaty hands. All right, more heat therapy. Okay, so I have now gotten this down in there, which is further than I was. And I haven't cracked the acrylic case yet. I do think I might have bent it a little bit though, which would not be ideal. Okay, so I am separating that glue a little bit. Looks like the heat is making a difference. So what I'm going to do instead of forcing that is I'm going to come from a different angle and see if I can keep splitting that glue seal without cracking the case. Oh, I just heard something. I just heard a pop, a crack. I don't know where it is though. It is down along, and I don't know if I can even show you that on this camera here, but I have officially made the first crack in the case. It goes right along that edge, and you can kind of see it a little bit more down here on this side, right there. I think that's a crack. Yeah, that's definitely a crack. It goes all the way through. I can feel a ridge now with my thumb. Alright, well, since I've already cracked that side, let me see if I can go back down here, what I can do. More heat. Okay, so I heated back up this side, and then I also heated up this side here. Okay, I heated up this side quite a bit. Ow. I don't think that's going to be the answer for that side. That just shattered. Oh, that glue goes up another side. Alright, I don't know where that piece went. It's not around here anymore, but I found something new out, and thanks to WATA for making two sides to this. I can try over here now, but on this side you can see that there's the line of glue on that side, but this bottom piece also has an inner section that goes straight up, and you can see the glue that's on that inner side there. I guess I did not realize how that was put on. It might take a significant amount of heat to melt that, although I'm not convinced that the glue was actually melting. I don't think that's what we were looking at here. And even if it was, there's a little bit of deformity in the glue there. There is none on that edge right there. So that means whatever heat we were using wasn't affecting all the glue in the area, which basically means it was useless. Because if it's not going to melt all the glue in the area, then it's not going to work. So let me think of how I want to approach this other side here. How am I going to get... You know what would be crazy is if the melting point or molten point of the glue was a higher temperature than the plastic. I don't think that's the case. I think I was onto something. Well, let me try this side. I am going to go back to the heat, but I'm not sure what I want to do different as far as the way that I want to pull that up. Alright, so we're back here. GoPro camera battery died, so I had to get a new battery. Anyway, you're going to notice a couple things changed. One is the platform in which I'm working. I'm going to try and get a little more even pressure on this by pressing down on the surface, and I wanted this metal surface, that way I'm not destroying my desk too much. Did find out that the heat that I was using with the hairdryer was not penetrating that inner tab enough, which is probably why we ended up cracking the case right there. So I don't have a hot air station, so I'm going to opt for something a little more vulgar, I guess. And, well, we're going to go ahead and just get going. There's a smoke detector up there if we decide to burn the place down. I can already tell that that is going to damage the plastic. Yeah, I already melted that a bit, which means that heat might have been enough to keep getting on. Oh, shit. Ooh. Well, maybe not. We'll keep going. We're just going to keep on keeping on here. I do have to say that I think the plastic is melting before the glue underneath of it, which was kind of my suspicion to begin with, that the plastic has a lower melting point than the glue underneath. Although we're going to test that theory here a little bit more. Maybe part of the thicker part of the case, because I melted kind of right there at that corner, which is a pretty thin piece. One thing that I'm noticing though is there ain't any change in the glue underneath. I'm not seeing anything there. And my gal about killed me when I carried the torch upstairs. Oh, jeez. Dang, that thing's durable. I don't even have quite the same gap on this side as I did the other side if I wanted to try that thing again. Not that I think it would work. I'm going to use more heat. Maybe just melting the case is the answer. We're going to get into this one way or another. Yeah, we're melting plastic here. We are melting just a thin layer of this plastic. That is bubbling like crazy. It's not actually penetrating. Oh, hey, Holly. No, you don't want to play with this, dear. But if this plastic melts and the glue underneath of it doesn't, that's saying something. That's why I'm going to kind of heat this up just to see if that's the way that is. That's going to smell wonderful too, I'm sure. Yeah, you can hear it crackle in there. Hear that? I got a little mic right here. All right, well, we have took that, but we made some progress on it and still cracked it. Even with all that heat, we cracked it. There's a big old chunk taken out of it there. It took melting the plastic to get the glue to release. And I melted the little piece of plastic on the inside, which is kind of going to be hard for you to see through this camera. I'm sure that made this real brittle too. I do have to say, this part has held up really well. The real question is that plastic melted under that? Okay, well, there's something for you. I've officially gotten that piece off, and it took some pretty extensive heat therapy to do it. But I cracked the heck out of it. And even just doing what I did cracked this inner edge. Now, I don't think that's necessarily the right answer because, oh, and I cracked that, getting that off. That's not too bad of an edge right there, but anywhere where there was glue, the case is destroyed. Anywhere where glue is, it's destroyed. I did end up melting the case, this piece as well. I ended up melting it. Might be a little hard, well, no, you can probably see it just fine right there. I ended up melting this piece of that. So even with destroying this part of the case to try and get enough heat to melt the glue, it even destroyed this part. So I'm going to say there's no way of taking that bottom part off without breaking it. And I know I'm going to break a clip trying to get it off that, get that front part off. And I melted this. Took enough heat to melt that. There you go. K3VBOT's Humber highlights right there. Yeah, that's melted. That's trash. That part's not melted. Game's still in one piece. This is not in one piece. There are chunks of this case still in here because that glue held better than the plastic holding it. Wow. And even up here, there's those 6 clips and there's glue back behind there. I don't think there's any way, even with some strategic placement of screwdrivers and this scalpel, because I can't get to the clip right there either, not from the outside. Is that like a 3-piece case? Maybe. See where I can get in here. See how far I can get in here. Okay, well I can get up to that edge pretty easily. Which means, and where the clips are, where the clips are, I can get up to that edge. So that, yeah, if you can see that, I am back behind that clip. So that clip is some kind of 3rd piece. Well, there's a edge right there. Cut the glue there. Okay, so there's no glue there. I can get down in that, but it's still enclosed in that upper piece. What the heck? There's the scan thing if you guys decide you want to scan this and see how it read. That little scan me thing's actually pretty neat on their website. Let's see how that's put together on the inside there. Wow. Okay. So this is how that is. There's this piece, this lower edge, and then a top cap. And the top cap is held on by these clips, so you can't pop the top cap off. And then this piece, as well as the top cap, are glued all the way around, top and bottom, to this larger section right here. That's a good design. I am not going to be able to get into that without breaking it. I already know that's where I'm going here, so why don't we get on getting, and let me find that tool. There it is. So I know I'm not going to be able to separate the top cap from this outer ring here, but I might be able to pop them both off of this ring, or this larger piece. Heat therapy is not going to do it, and even if I cut around that, it's not going to make a difference because I can't get in there and undo those clips. And we've already found out that the plastic becomes too brittle, or not brittle, the plastic melts before the glue, and the plastic will crack before the glue will let loose. Yeah, even that. Wow. That glue's hard. I'm going to use the torch again because I like using the torch. And we're just gonna try not to get too close where I melt the plastic though. I don't want to melt the plastic. And I know where the bulk of the glue is now. It's not necessarily on the edges. So got a little close on that edge, but nope, that ain't budging at all. Doesn't help my hands are sweaty. You can see some glue down in there. Let me see if that's even soft. That glue. Let me see if the glue that I can even reach is soft. Although I kind of charred. Even trying not to, I bent it, warped it. Nope, that glue is solid. I'm just getting that pinched down in there. So what I'm trying to do is, I can see some glue on this outer edge here. I was trying to see if it's malleable enough that I can mess with it with that, but it is not. I am just pinching this thing in there and not making any impact on this glue, other than, actually I think what I'm doing is I think I'm marking up the plastic. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Blowtorch. There I go, melting the plastic again. Oh geez, that's not even moving, like the bottom one broke. There's just too much surface area up there that's attached. And I even melted that, trying to warm it up enough. Jesus. Nope, I am just flattening that soft plastic. That is not coming off with heat. I would absolutely break the clips trying it. Heat is the only option I can think of, and obviously I'm melting the plastic more than I'm melting the glue. Alright, well, I'm not going any further on this. I think you guys have gotten a pretty good gist on that and how solid these cases are. I broke the plastic before I broke the glue on the bottom, and I melted the crap out of the plastic before the glue even let loose on the top. So now that I threw all the stuff that was originally in this, there's the game. Where's the inner part? Oh, hold on, there we go. There's one, and there's the other. So I am going to call that a bust. Kind of like Mythbusters, but not as exciting. And I'm going to send this back, probably, and no, probably not. I'm going to send it back and complain about a faulty case. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, ooh, that's still warm. There you go.